You ever wanted to have deeper back bends that feel good, back bends that don't feel restrictions? Do you struggle with going into wheel pose and other back bends and feel tightness in your upper body near your shoulders and chest or your hips? Here are the must-do myofascial releases to release this tension and help your back bends go deeper and be more comfortable and prevent injuries. Let's release the thoracic area with these 3 thoracic releases under the scapulas, in the middle of the scapulas and the neck. At first, you lie on the block. You take some time to breathe in the position that you're in, to release off and open the area that you're doing. Open your elbows as much as possible. Think of your ribs going and opening and releasing. Then from there, as you move into a sit-up position for each position, you close your elbows and then release back over the block 3 to 5 times. Using your breath, inhale here, exhale. Inhale as you come up, exhale as you allow yourself to release and open around the rib cage. Let's release this stubborn area that's often tight in back bends and tight in handstands. Just placing the ball just above the bone at the back of your shoulder and rolling along. You can also use a wall. Stay in one spot when you feel a tight area and breathe into it to allow releasing. Move your neck a little bit from left to right to allow tension to release as well. Take your time, 30 seconds to a minute on each side. Let's release the deltoid area. You can also do this on a wall. This is fantastic when you have to do overhead work, rolling through the tension points from the shoulder down to the outside of the upper arm, often staying where there's a tension point. You can bend and straighten your elbow. You can do what feels good for you, feeling out the tension as you do it. Make sure you always do both sides. Let's now release the triceps. The triceps often are a tight point that are difficult when we go to overhead extension, but also cause the elbow pain. You can also roll this on a higher point like a table if this is uncomfortable being in child's pose. Do both sides. This part is a pivotal area to releasing the overhead extension and also the tightness in the lats. Placing the ball underneath the armpit on the side of the body, rotating your chest up, doing a few rotations internal, external, then releasing overhead. If you find a spot that is sensitive, stay there and breathe into it. The pectoral area is a very difficult area, particularly the pec minor. This block release is fantastic. Lean into it, moving into the corners, breathing deeply, allowing your arm to move up and back to create release. You could also put this against a wall as long as you have movement in your arm. Take it slowly, use your breath. This can be very, very intense, and this will help open your chest immensely. Now let's work in the hip area. Let's release the hip flexor. Placing the ball in the hip flexor, roll aside a little bit. You're going to bend your foot and internally and externally rotating it. Make sure to keep the other hip down. Roll through a few areas near the hip flexor. Then straighten the leg and lift it up and down. Doing both sides using your breath, inhale and exhale. Now we roll into the quadricep and the TFL, going a little bit towards the side or the ITBN. Breathing deeply, rolling along the areas, finding sensitivities, and then when you find a sensitive spot, bend and straighten the leg to increase pressure. Make sure the other hip still keeps square to the ground as much as possible. Let's now do the psoas. The psoas is a great area to release that is often very, very tight and causes a lot of pain. Placing it on a block, start off in Sphinx pose, pull your chest through, and then lifting your leg up and down, inhaling and exhaling. The slower, the better if you're not used to this. If you have more ability to back bend safely without dumping into the lower back, you can push up onto your hands as well. Give this a try and see how it helps. Thank you for joining me.